Welcome back to episode 369 of the Brew Crew podcast, coming to you from adjacent to the Church Room Bar in the Man Cave. As you can see, it's a solo episode because JT is on vacation with family, friends, and loved ones in Mexico, and I was hoping to have some friends for this episode, but wires got crossed, and we're going to go with a solo episode. Excited for today. There's been a couple of beers I've been sitting on, hoping that I've been able to find the opportunity, the special occasion to do them. So I want to get right into it. This beer I bought because of the label specifically. This is Streetside Cherry John Lemon, which we'll find out this is a line from Streetside. Got this from our friends at the Barrel House. This is a 6.2% lemon meringue milkshake IPA. I thought it was going to be much more of a sour. If you look at that can, I thought it was going to be much more of a sour. So when I was doing the research, when I was doing the studying for preparing for episode 369, I looked at it and I was like, sure enough, it's an IPA. So I'm going to crack it away. 3, 2, 1. Of course, and that's why I crack it away from the expensive electronics. Definitely an IPA. The hops more forward than the cherry, which I was super excited for, especially after working out. Tartness immediately on the palate. That is fantastic. So hops on the nose, but you don't get any of the hops. This is a well-balanced, the initial reaction is a well-balanced milkshake IPA. That's crushable. This is, I could easily drink 4 of those in a sitting. 6.2% too. Extremely forgiving. One thing, I wanted to get into the beer right away, but the one thing I wanted to talk about at the top is Untapped. I realized when I was doing my research, I didn't even check into last week's beers. And I was out this last week a couple of times with some friends and talking. And even in the moment, I find myself not documenting my Untapped. And I know I've given JT a hard time over the years, and I understand sometimes it's not for people. You know, there's other people that don't check in or use Untapped as much as they probably would want to. My biggest grievance is the fact that I get 2 or 3 emails immediately after, because they're trying to capitalize. You got to understand where Untapped is coming from. They're trying to, build a profitability model. So sending you emails like either on product you'd be interested or beer memberships or swag or whatever they can do. So I appreciate the hustle, but I wish there was a way to, sorry, Stacey, unsubscribe from those emails, because you can't. There's not an opportunity, and there's nothing in the app, at least that I found. Even when I was paid model, I was paying $5 a month in the hopes that I wasn't going to be subscribed every time I checked into a beer, getting 1 or 2 emails. This beer is, man, this is really good. Wow. Let's go. Let's check out the website review. Hopefully I have this set up right. I didn't check the website. There we go. Doing some research. StreetsideBrewery.com. Again, Cincinnati, but every time we talk about Cincinnati, we've talked about this many a time, JT and I, about Cincinnati beers, and Rheingeist for me is always up there. Urban Artifact. Does Streetside warrant a conversation or a place in the conversation on being in the upper pantheon of Cincinnati beers? This beer alone, I don't want to spoil my score, but you go to like their can vault. This is how I realized, because this is Blueberry John Lemon, but look at how sharp and crisp this website is. Like, that's a high def to the extreme on those cans. 2021, 2018. I think these are some of their best can arts, or they look back. It's awesome. And again, we've done their story multiple times, but they started in 2016. Again, a lot has happened in the ensuing decade. Early brewing experiments like Raspberry Beret and Demogorgon have gone multiple awards. And forward, onward, and upward. Open every day. It's awesome. Again, love it. Check out their tap room real quick. Perfect balance of precision, ultra modern tap room, and the charm of your old corner bar. That's the thing. I got to go back to. That's the thing that I'm big on, is that charm, that coziness. Everyone in bars now is, ultra modern, or they have to have a, exposed HVAC systems or whatever. Not just that old, and that's where the market is, because they wouldn't do it, or 9 out of 10 bars wouldn't do it if that wasn't what the market and people were after. It's just not my jam. Like, that's where the Barrel House exceeds so much, because it's such a cozy place where you can just get in and you're present and you're in the moment, which goes back to my original thought of how I'm not checking into things, because I guess I'm trying to be present or in the moment or engaged in that conversation, or if I go places, talking to the staff or the brewmaster or whatever, and just being there in the moment, and then I forget to check it in, and I'm doing late check-ins. And that was the one nice thing about doing the paid version of the app, Untappd app, was you were able to retroactively check in. You're like, oh, I had it about 4 o'clock a couple of days ago. So pluses and minuses all around. Okay. This beer is a revelation in the fact that it's an IPA, not sour, definitely fruited, like that Milkshake, but it's like right up there with like Tall Grass, where that was a little bit more, from Half Pipe, that was a little bit more sour, a little bit more in the clackers, where this is just a refreshing beverage. Being an IPA, being at a 6.2, I wonder if it says what hops are in here. Citra, of course. So Citra, sealed up production. John Lemon is tasty. Treat hopped with Citra for delightful citrus flavors. Lemon juice, vanilla. I don't really get the vanilla, but I don't. The lemon meringue, which makes sense. Whipped cream and a smooth milkshake mouthfeel. Complemented for our heavy-handed oat-filled grist bill caresses the palate. It's amazing. Oh, again, off the top rope. Happy birthday, Chuggalo Dave. It was his birthday on Valentine's Day, so I know he's on vacation. I texted him at like 4 o'clock in the morning. He was on his way to Arizona with Mrs. Chuggalo Dave, so I think they were looking for alternative investments in the Arizona region for Waconia Brewing Company, so this is crushable. I'm almost done with this. Thirsty after the workout. Good workout today. Off the top, this is, I don't know what I would do or what you could do different. I want all the different flavors. Hopefully, besides the blueberry and the cherry, hopefully they do other flavors. Off the top rope, this is a 5. This is absolutely delightful. It's just, those beers that when you have them, it's just, it almost tastes like refreshing, like a sports drink. And you could make the argument, you're dried or dehydrated after working out. I don't think it's that at all. The nose is the Citra hop, which again, favorite hop. But that flavor, that taste, I don't want to pour too much because I only got the one glass in. Oh, it does have like a pink lemonade to it. The light's not doing it justice, but God, that is, and like a $5 price point for that, for a pint can. That's amazing. It's an amazing value. Again, a 5 all day long on that one. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm going to save a little bit in case the next beer isn't very good, but I think it's going to be. So I even got this one. So the second beer is from Bruery, the Brewery, April Showers. I was going to save it for April, but I pulled it out of the box blind. And it's a dry hopped oaked imperial Belgian style golden ale at 12.5%. I'm glad I did these beers in the order in which I did, because I don't think my palate's shocked where it would ruin this, but I feel like the alcohol on this may have retarded the flavors on the Streetside. So we're going to go with the crack on this one. We got Richard. Everyone talks about having more Richard on the pod. I'll listen. Okay, so this beer, a Belgian style golden ale. So the one beer that I always think about, even when I was doing my research, and it's always available, and I'm going to bring it up, and you guys will all see, is Duvel. That's probably the most popular or prevalent Belgian-style golden ale. You always see these at like your craft or your bottle shops. That's like an omnipresent, sorry, Stacey, beer. But how often do you pick it up? Or is this like in anyone's fridge? Always available at the store, but is it ever in anyone's fridge? I don't know. I don't even know. I've probably had it once or twice, but a 12.5%. So I'm going to guess there's very pale straw. Aggressive little pour on that one. And this is the unique Bruery 12.7 bottle. So almost 12 ounce, but 12.7. This is like from their cellar series. And we're going to go into my cellar a little bit as I've built for this coming year. It's got that Belgian. This would have been great in this last year's calendar, the Advent calendar 2025, with all that Belgian, lovingly Euro trash, as I like to call it. Ooh. That oak build gives it a lot more earthy tones. This is actually, I'm glad that it wasn't like a sour beer. Breweries known for their sour beers. I'm glad that I wasn't doubled up on like the sour fruited beers today, because I feel like they would have taken from each other. The fact that I don't know if April Showers, like I think of this as an April Showers beer, but back to my original thought where I was going on that, they pair well with each other because they're so different. They're on the opposite sides of it. This is a beer, and that's, like a fruited IPA, that Milkshake IPA, gimmicked up IPA. This feels much more traditional. And the fact that oak imparts some earthiness and gives it a little bit more body. The 12.5 is very present, but it's not off-putting. We've all had those beers before that you're like 12% and you're like, oh man, like it's a lot. It feels like it's right in its right place. And so let's check out the brewery a little bit. Let's give them their just. So I went to my cellar, what I have so far this year. I just want to share a little bit because we'll do, JT and I will do it on the podcast. So craft cherry grateful, musket, and 2 bottles of each. I haven't musket, don't know, shock pop. Excited for what that is. Let's check out what that is. Fermented freezer aisle favorite. This bright sour blonde ale burst with vibrant cherry and lime. Ooh, like a cherry. Hell yeah. So got 2 of those coming. That's awesome. And let's just go to About Us. Brewery has a lot of their pop-ups. Brewers roll call. You have to first understand how we started from small craft brewers. And again, rated the number 2 brewer in all of California. I get my box of beer from them, the three-headed Hydra. And again, there's so much characteristic, and everything is like their oak barrels. Everything is aged. Everything is carefully crafted. Are they a production brewer, but production with a purpose? I would say. Again, I was trying to do some other research here. Nothing really came together, but this beer. It's fine. It's not. It's tough because Bruery is another one of those brewers that are rated against themselves, especially with their sour program and their big stouts and with adjuncts and like your Black Tuesday, your Gray Mondays, all of their serious award winners. They're like their big heavy hitters. This is very ho hum when it comes to them, but it's by design a Belgian golden ale. Sorry, Stacey. That just has that oak body that rounds it out a little bit, so it's not as thin as something else like a peer would be in there. It just has those Oaken characteristics. It's fine. It's not great. It's, I guess, you know, when you've had your socks blown off by something gimmicks like that, this is a fine beer, and that's just what it is. It's just a Belgian style beer that happens to have Oaken characteristics. Off the top rope. I'm going to be at a 3 on this one. It's fine. Got to write down my scores. It just doesn't do too much for me. It would be a great palate cleanser, or if you're bringing it to a bottle share, this would be like a great transition point in the evening or wherever you are to go from, you know, a high point to then this. Again, it's not a drain pour. It exceeds at being very middle of the road, and it just takes the Belgian style. I keep repeating myself. It just takes that Belgian style and adds Oaken aspects to it. So it's a fine representation of what it's trying to do. All right. That's going to be it for episode 369. This is a short and sweet one. If you do see it, folks, seriously, this Streetside Cherry John Lemon is an absolute revelation. It is a delight. Keep cold, drink fresh. I've got one more of these, and I'm trying to figure out if I remember seeing more at the Barrel House. I can always message them, or if something's available at Pat's. This is one I would buy like a pallet of. Any time of the day type beer. This would be great with breakfast. I like having, you know, like smoothie style sours on the weekend with breakfast. This is right there that just satiates a little bit of sweetness. So glad I saved a little bit for the end. But that's it. Cheers.